Alright, let's start this day off with a video. Another vent session. Now the previous videos that I posted got broken up into two because when my battery went real low, it stopped the first video and then started another one. All while still recording, and it skipped a little bit in between, but that's fine. I posted both of them at the same time, so they both went up at the same time. But today, right before I go to work, I'm gonna do a little vent session again. So what did I leave off last night? I think I left off around Virginia, right? Who did I mention? I mentioned Travis Mayhew. I remember that, and then I mentioned Cheyenne Crawl, one of the best friends I ever made. I try to keep in touch with her today, but of course, she's always busy, or at least that's what she says, and she can't really talk often, which is fine by me. I don't really care anymore. It's not the new people walking out of my life, like I said last night, but I do make an effort to keep in touch with people nowadays. I want to make sure that my connections stay connections, so they don't disappear into the ether. I don't hear from them forever. I do care a lot about people. I think it's a curse, you know. I think it's a curse that I care a lot about people because, to be honest, I tend to care about them too much, and kind of bites me in the ass. You know, I'm very considerate, and that tends to bite me in the ass as well. A lot of things have went down in just this new year alone, but I'll get to that. Today, however, I think I'm going to backtrack, because I did skip over a lot of things last night, and a lot of things need to be said. And I guess I was rushing the information. I probably shouldn't have done that. But, again, there is still a lot of things on my mind. There are still a lot of things I need to get out. A lot of things that I just want to say, you know? So, first and foremost, we're going to start back. I want to say I don't even remember what year this was around. I want to say it's definitely early 2000s, that's for sure. It's around the time I was living with my grandma, and this one isn't an explanation, rather more than a story. So sit tight. It's going to be a little lengthy. So during this time, we are living on 1117 Knickerbocker Drive. I can say that because we don't live there anymore. You can go there. There's someone else living there. You could go and bother them if you want. But 1117 Knickerbocker Drive, Stockton, California. And during this time, it is my three elder sisters, me, and my brother. So my three elder sisters, me and my brother, and my cousin Malachi. We lived with my grandma and my aunt. And we had relatively good times there, I'm not going to lie. We played in the backyard a lot. We had a swing set with a seesaw and a slide. It was great, you know, for a great childhood. But I planted a tree back there. It was an orange tree. It started sprouting. We never stayed there long enough for me to see the tree fully grow. I don't know if it's there as a tree or they took it out. I don't know. I don't really know what came of that. But anyway, that's a detour. But what I want to talk to you guys about is when I used to go to Sutherland, and I lived at my grandma's house. You see, when I went to both Park Lane and Sutherland, my elder sister, Chanel, you might know her as Nini Baby. She's starting a new channel. I don't know if she already started it or is in the works of starting it, but Nini Baby is the channel that I currently know her of using as of right now. But she will be starting a new channel. Once she does, I hope she lets me know about it so I can subscribe to that one. You guys can subscribe to it too. Yes, now she was the eldest of us all. She's the oldest one. and she would always walk us to school. She went to the high school right by Sutherland. It was like through a field, and she went to that high school. Or was it a high school? Was it a middle school? I don't really know. Anyway, she went to that school, and we went to Sutherland. Me, my brother, and my cousin Malachi. And actually, I think Malachi was at Park Lane. No, he went to Sutherland. Malachi's only 2 years younger than me. I'm not sure. I'm misremembering things, but it's fine. Yeah. Anyway, she would used to walk us to and from school all the time, and it's just funny though, because it's when I lived with my grandma, she had a lot of strict rules, and she would always make sure that she now walked us to school, which is odd because during this time, I never really knew where my other two sisters went to school, Monet and Brittany. And oddly enough, I actually found out where Brittany went to school. She took a bus to go to a completely different school, which I never really knew why she went to a completely different school. I still don't understand why she went to a completely different school. We all lived in the same house. Why not go to the same school, right? I don't know. Maybe she had a different learning curriculum than everyone else. I don't know. And I never really found out what school Monet went to. Probably the same as Brittany. I don't know. She was never on the same bus. I don't know. A long time ago. I was like 7. Okay, leave me alone. Anyway. Back to the story at hand. She now would walk us, me, my brother, and Malachi, to school and back. And to be honest, in typical little boy fashion, all 3 of us would give her a hard time. Now, she complains about it today, how we would give her a hard time walking us to Sutherland and all that. But to be completely honest, I mean, we only did it because we were young. And to be honest, I really didn't like going to school back then. I mean, what was the point? I went to school, learned some stuff, came back home, did homework, did it, went back to school, turned it into the teacher, and did the whole thing on repeat every day. I never had friends back then, because back then there was a thing called bullies. And they like to pick on the short kids, the short and weak, right? I didn't stay that way, obviously, but so yeah, and a particular incident, particularly when I went to Sutherland, was an incident where me and my grandma. Now I'm an 8-year-old or 7 or 8-year-old at this time, so bear witness. That we got into a fight, as as an 8-year-old can get into a fight with his grandmother, We got into a big fight. Don't even remember what the fight was about. I just remember the fight. And we got into an argument. I walked outside. It was right before school, too. Grabbed my backpack, walked outside, and started walking the direction towards school. And as I'm walking, I did a pretty regrettable notion in the fact that I, as an 8-year-old, flipped my grandmother off. I gave her the old middle finger. And to be honest, it wasn't one of my best moments. It wasn't one of my greater moments. If you knew my grandmother, and if my siblings are watching, they knew my grandmother very well. In fact, they probably recall better than me the incident that followed when I came home that day. But yeah, all day throughout school, I feared the end of school. One of the days where I actually feared going home, the outcome that awaited me. And I don't know, I barely remember what happened, but if I get in contact with my sisters, I'm pretty sure they'll tell me what happened. But I remember getting in trouble a lot then, and I remember feeling, throughout the whole day, I remember feeling very sorry. When you do things you don't mean to do, or say things you don't mean to say out of anger, and to this day, it it's one of my regrets. You know, I mean, as a little kid, you do a lot of things that you'll tend to regret later on, but it's fine. It's fine now. I mean, I'm good. But it's one of those things I had on my chest that I felt I needed to get off. And, you know, it's nothing really, but you know, you gotta really get used to talking to a camera. But you know, I'm used to talking to by myself. That's why I'm not looking at the camera. Because if I look at the camera, then I realize I'm talking to a camera. It kind of breaks the concentration. So I act like the camera's not there. I act like I'm talking by myself because I tend to do that a lot. In fact, I tend to do these vent sessions by myself, but I figured, hey, why talk about all this stuff to myself, by myself, when I can talk to it by myself to you? So, there's that. I just recently found out my brother started posting videos on YouTube, which is great. I mean, good for him, although the persona he puts on is very, very odd. He definitely didn't act like that when we were kids, trust me. And if you don't know what my brother's channel is, it's a new channel. He only has 2 videos posted as the recording of this video. It's called Savage Mike. You can go check out his channel if you ever view mine. I doubt you guys ever view mine. I don't have any views. And if I do have views, it's probably from family. Anyway. So yeah, I have a lot of shit to talk about. Mainly, most of the hurtful stuff don't happen until my later years. Preferably by after 16, also when all the real stuff starts happening to me. Everything before that's kind of, you know, water under the bridge. But there is a lot of little things I would like to talk about in this video before I get to the big things. And a lot of the big things I feel can wait. You know, I feel they can wait. But these little things, if I get these off my chest, I don't have to talk about them. Plus, I can get a bunch of them out in one video. I have 50 minutes to do that, so. Anyway. I've been thinking a lot these days. And to be honest, I've been thinking a lot my entire life. And a lot of that thought is thanks to the fact of my siblings. My siblings made a lot of mistakes that I never did because they made the mistakes and I learned from their mistakes and didn't make the same mistakes. But I did my fair share of mistakes. I did my own fair share of regrets, and to this day, it hurts.
Who?
I said no one. I'm not on the phone with anybody. I just recorded me a little video right here. Hey, yeah, you could be in the video too. Say something.
I don't know y'all motherfuckers. I ain't saying shit. Yeah, I said something. Oh, you trying to copy Mikey, huh?
Copy? What are you talking about? I have videos on here way before
Yeah,
him.
you trying to do your blog. This is the weather in California.
No.
It never rains in California, but it
No,
does.
this is a vent session.
I guess.
It's not a vlog. It's a vent session.
I don't get it.
You don't get it. But no, I've had videos on here before. I have gaming videos on here.
Oh.
Right. I thought I'd include that little clip of my dad getting out the car. Mainly because I talk about my family, but I tend not to show them in the videos. And I was like, you know what, screw it. He is right here. I might as well show him in the video. Hey, he was goofy in the video, but it's fine. Yeah, and unbeknownst to nothing, don't let these vent sessions think that my life is hard or that I'm going through some shit right now. My life is actually very stable at the moment. And, it's very, very good. I'm in a good place right now. I just thought I'd get some of the stuff that I've been holding in for years off of my chest so that I can then move forward with the rest of my life, so to speak. But yeah, there are a lot of regrets that I have, and to be completely honest, I know I can't change what I've done or what has been done to me. I can only reflect and then move forward But of course, in typical fashion, I tend to overthink certain things and misread situations. I'm learning. I'm only 21. I'm learning. I'm getting better. But with every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction, right? Isaac Newton, I believe, said that. And I really hope I'm not wrong, because then I look stupid in front of the whole internet. But yeah. But yeah, let's get back to talking about the vent session, okay? We're getting off topic here. This is a vent session. I guess for the longest time, I've always looked up to the people around me, the adults in my life. But the adults in my life weren't exactly reliable in the slightest sense. My dad was in and out of jail, as you know if you've seen the first vent session. My mom was out of the picture until I was 14. My grandma was there, but she didn't really know what to do because she kind of had 6 kids thrusted upon her. My aunt was strict as hell because that's the only way she knew how to be growing up with grandma and all. My Nana, I don't really know too much about my Nana. Despite the many visits we had of her, the one thing I can say about my Nana that I do remember very vividly was that she was very, very passionate about the things she did and said. And no matter what, she always, even in her old age, right down to the bitter end, she always did things 100%, 110%. She never shortcutted anything. She never did anything with a, how do I put it? She never made anything look easy, I guess. She was always a hard worker, even when she couldn't work hard, And that's something I admire about her. And same thing with my grandma, Same situation. She was just like her mom. She was a hard worker. She worked hard, even down to where she couldn't. When she had breast cancer and they took her breasts away, she was still hardworking. She stayed strong to the end, and I admire that. But at the same time, I wouldn't say it wouldn't be great to have them still in my life today. In fact, I don't know what my life would be like if they were still in my life today, but I'm pretty sure I'd be in somewhat of a better place. I'm not saying that the place I'm in isn't good. I mean, it's great, but I mean, it could be better. But yeah. But, losses aside, I still have a lot of gains. I mean, when I turned 17, I went through a lot of shit at 17, I guess. Typical 17-year-old rebellious phase. But mine wasn't typical, I would guess, because I was going through a lot of different things that a typical person at 17 wouldn't be going through. For starters, if you watched the previous video, I had started cross-dressing at 17, and 16, my bad, 16. And at the time, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just wearing feminine clothes to wear them. I didn't know what it did. It made me feel something. I just didn't know what it was. And I do know now. I know today. And I'll get to that. Sorry to mislead people. But if you know me in real life, if you know me in person, then you know what that thing is. I don't want to bury the lead, but I kind of want to keep it a secret until I reveal it. Because you guys will be shocked. Unless you haven't already guessed it. I mean, unbeknownst to the deep voice that I have and all that, but probably the way I talk as well. You probably can't guess it, but if you did guess it, well, props on you guys. But, anyway, at 17, I was still doing the cross-dressing thing, and I was still going to school, but I met a couple of people who were similar to me. Not exactly like me, but they were similar. And they gave me an idea, and I started looking things up on the web. I started looking up, different things. I looked up cross dressing. I looked up a lot of things, and then I came across a term in my research about what I could possibly be identified as, and a term that ran across my mind. And when I read it, it seemed like it fit. It seemed like it was the perfect option, and what that term was, it's called bigender. And what that is basically a person who identifies as both sexes. Basically, they believe themselves to be either a female or a male, either separately at any given time, or they believe themselves to be of both sex at the same time. And it's a weird explanation, and again, I was 17, so I kind of went with it, and I was like, yeah, that's exactly what it does. Sounds like me, It sounds like me, because you see, when I wear the boy clothes, I feel like a boy, but when I wear the girl clothes, I feel like a girl, and I was like that for a while until I turned 18 to 19. And I came across a term. I had already known this term for a couple of years now, but I never actually associated it with me until I actually read its definition. And that's when things started to come clearer. And to be honest, I was then coming into my own. When I turned 18, that's when things started to become real for me. At 18, I met a friend. Great friend she was. She's a he now. Should be saying, not to be disrespectful, but he, is part of the LGBT, I guess they have a Q at the end of it now, LGBTQ community, as am I. But when I first met him, he was a her, so for the sake of the story, I'm going to be calling him a her, because at the time of me meeting him, he was a her and went by a her at that time. At the time, his name, or her name, it's very confusing because of the way I'm saying it, but was Ashley. What was her last name? Ashley something. Well, the last name doesn't really matter. I don't want you guys hitting this person up. So Ashley was the name, and at that time, a very good friend of mine, she and Cheyenne and I shared a photography class together. We were in photography together. We kind of formed our own little group, so to speak. And it was fun, I loved hanging out with both of them, But Ashley was the one who actually opened up my eyes to transgender. And again, it's a term that I knew about, but I never knew anything about it. So when she told me that she was planning on becoming a boy or a man, I looked at her and I was like, well, if you feel like a male, why is it you still dress effeminate? And I don't remember what her reply was to that, but long story short, I researched transgender, but I also researched transsexual. And a big misconception between the two terms is that people believe that they mean the same thing. Transgender and transsexual don't mean the same thing. I guess technically they mean the same thing, but they don't mean this. Do you know what I mean? So transgender is a person who identifies as the opposite sex or a different sex than the one they are originally born with. Transsexual is when they change the sex. Does that make sense? It's kind of like I guess as of right now, I would be transgender because my associated gender, is different than the one I was born with. But transsexual is when your sex, genitalia, is different from the one you were born with. So transsexual is when they go through the hormone therapy, the surgery to get the breast, if they choose that, because I read online. I know you shouldn't be reading a lot of things online, but I read a lot online and I go through a lot of various different websites because in school I was taught to not search one website, but to search many. And if a lot of them say pretty much the same thing, you got a pretty much verified source, you know. Anyway, I search a lot of different sites, and a lot of people say around the same thing, and it all seems to add up, and it makes sense to me that it's like that because it makes perfect sense, you know. If I am wrong and the online report, the online things I've been reading is completely false, correct me, please do. Because I don't want to be sounding like an idiot on the internet. Trust me. I've already sounded like an idiot my entire life. I don't want to be sounding like an idiot to people I don't even know. But I guess to be completely honest, I've been searching for an identity and I found it. Took me 19 years to find that identity, but I eventually found it. And if you watched the previous video, you would know that my name used to be Devin. Despite Devin being a unisex name, I associate it with my male personality, which is dead to me. I don't use that name personally for myself anymore if I'm not speaking in the past tense. I refer to myself as Danielle. That is my name. Not legally, not yet, but it will be soon, hopefully. But for the sake of this being a YouTube video, and for the sake of this being on my channel, the only name you guys need to associate me by is Nightshade, the Hidden Wolf. You don't have to say that, it's probably a mouthful for you guys. You could just say Nightshade. But Nightshade, the Hidden Wolf, when I started this channel, I wanted it to be gaming based, but my gaming videos never really got any views, so I kind of stopped it before it even started, you know. I know if I kept going, I probably would have gotten more views, and to be honest, I might start up the gaming again. I'm not going to start up a whole new channel like some people do. If I do gaming, it's going to go on this channel. But, my channel also... Damn, I knew I should have waited till nighttime to do this. You see, this is why I didn't record these videos until now, because I would have been constantly been getting interrupted. I don't even remember where I left off. Despite the cut being like a 1 second jump, I don't remember where I left off. So, I think, for now, I'm going to leave this here. And then when I watch the video back, I'll pick up on the next video where I left off. I don't know when you guys will get another video. It probably won't be for a couple of weeks. Probably a whole week and work and all that, you know. But, until next time, until my next vent session, hopefully this doesn't become a regular series. It's just a thing I'm doing. But I do, as for the future of this channel, before I close off actually, as for the future of this channel, for any of you who are watching, I did say I didn't want comments or feedback from these videos, but I do want feedback and comments on what I should do for future videos other than the vent sessions. I don't want to hear comments or see comments about my vent sessions. What I want to see is what I should do for the future of this channel. Should I keep it should I keep it not venting, should I keep it gaming? Should I do vlogs? Should I do challenges? A little bit of everything, you know. When I first started this channel, I did want this channel to be a animation channel. I wanted to animate this book I'm working on. It's called, I can tell you the title, it's fine. It's not published, but it is my own work. It's called The Power Within Elemental Blake. And those of you who know me personally probably have read the book of what I've had so far. But if you haven't, eventually the book will be out. I will be finished with the book. I only have a couple chapters written right now. But when the book is out, I do recommend any of you who are watching this, check it out. Keep the title in mind and check it out when it comes out. It's a great story. Anybody who's read it has told me so far that it's a great story. I mean, I knew it was a great story. I just didn't know if it would be accepted by the masses as a great story. But truly is a great story. to give you a little sneak peek about it, it's pretty much like if you ever watched Avatar: The Last Airbender. Think that with a mix of like how do I put it? It's kind of like Avatar: The Last Airbender if it was within the supernatural world. You know, if it had not only elementals, but werewolves, vampires, witches, golems, ghouls, spirits, everything, you know. This book has a bit of everything, and it's one of my greatest works yet. I have original characters that I created in there. Each character is different, each character has a different personality. 3 characters, though, in this story. And this is a very interesting fact. 3 characters, and I wonder if you guys can actually tell me when the book comes out. Whenever it comes out, I don't know when it's going to come out. I'm not quite done with it yet. Like I said, I only got a couple chapters written. But if you ever do catch wind of the book and you read it, hit me back up or hit me through the comment section and let me know which 3 characters, because I did write 3 characters whose personalities and actions and aspects of how they view things are exactly like mine, in different ways. I'll give you one, actually, and then you can tell me the other 2. Because the one's kind of a give me anyway. It's the main character, Blake Anderson. I modeled him after myself. So the character is 100% me in an aspect. It's not exactly me. He's not exactly me. Let's put it this way. He's basically me before I found out about the whole transgender thing. If that's the way to put it. He's basically the male version of me. The male version of me that I left behind. I just wrote him into a book. That's who he is. That's Blake Anderson. But yeah, I'm going to leave this video here. I'm not going to trip if you don't like. I'm not going to trip if you don't subscribe. I'm not that antsy for views or subscribers. But if I do get them, you know, great. This is probably not the attitude to have in a YouTube video for a YouTube career. But to be honest, as part of this vent session, nothing in life has ever gone the way I expected. So I'm not going to expect great things from this channel. I am still going to keep at it, though. Hopefully it grows. Hopefully it does better. If it does better, maybe my attitude will change on it. But as of right now, I don't see anything coming of it. I mean, my gaming videos flunked. But yeah, like I said, if you still want me to do gaming, tell me to do that. If you want me to vlog, I'll do that. If you want me to do challenges, I'll do that. If you want me to do collabs with my other siblings who happen